So, John, as we're getting super duper close to the election, seems like a lot of people have just stopped talking about the Butler, the July 13th assassination attempt. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Yeah, a lot of things happening in the news that seem to be kind of stealing the news cycle from the Butler story. And I don't know. I mean, the Butler story seems far from over as far as I'm concerned. So I tend not to get very distracted. People, usually call that OCD or something. And like, the guy's obsessed about this one story. He's like a dog. And it's like, I just don't get distracted by the other stuff.
Yeah, I think
So,
it's good. Particularly, I mean, this hasn't been solved yet. I don't know. I know you've got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight with the snipers, their testimony, all that. Did you see that? I mean, I know you saw that this whole thing was happening with Vem Miller. This is a bizarre thing. I don't know if you want to talk about this, but this is the guy who was arrested near the Southern California rally. He's now sued the sheriff for defamation over the assassination attempt claims. This is a crazy story.
and to me, each one of these stories is another distraction from what happened in Butler. So we
I
had the
agree.
other guy. Who was that other guy? Ralph. And
Yeah.
I said to you, if I was Ralph's defense attorney, I'd be looking at the prosecutor and saying, so wait a second. You found a gun next to a fence 40 miles from where you found my client, and you have nothing to connect him with the thing at the fence. And so Ralph was let go with what? He got off with five
You're
thousand
talking
dollars
about the
bail.
guy who went to the golf course in
The
Florida?
golf course guy.
They
Yeah,
let
he
him
was let
go?
off. They
They
let him
let
go
him
on
go?
bail. They let him out on bail. I think they let him out on five
Jeez.
thousand dollars
To
bail.
try to,
And
is he going to
and
try
same.
this again?
Well, I don't know, but this guy, this Vem guy, whatever his name is, same thing. It's like he was let out on $5,000 bail, and fortunately, Mindy Robinson posted that she thinks he's a good guy. It's much ado about nothing. And lo and behold, as soon as Mindy posted it, who comes out of the woodwork but the former head of the Defense Security Agency, General Michael Flynn? I said,
Yeah.
what's a former defense intelligence guy chiming in when a girl from Xamster is tweeting? It just seems like strange bedfellows, if you'll excuse the terminology. It's just like you're General Mike Flynn, and she's did chicks dig gay guys. I mean,
It was weird. I agree. Hey, we should
you
also
know,
mention you're
yeah.
now blue check plus chicken, and people can
And
watch the live streams on the at I_am_ John Cullen X account.
assuming it's working, I'm
It
assuming it's
is.
working.
No, look, this is it right here. 84 people are watching it right now.
Pretty cool. So this is a first. We haven't done this before. We just configured this for the first time for this show. And this is an interesting story because at first I didn't know how I got the blue check mark.
Yeah.
I was kind of dumbfounded by this, and I put up a post and I thanked Elon Musk, and I made a little Rocket Man video and all that. And then I got a private DM from a guy who said, "No, bro, I dig what you're doing, and people need to see more of your stuff, so I put it on my card, and
Hey, thanks to that guy.
I gifted you this check mark. So I guess if you pay in advance or something, it's like 85 or 95 bucks or something like that. So
But hang on
he
one
did.
second, though, because first of all, thank you to that person for doing that. It helps everybody to be able to see more of this, and also everybody who's watching there now can also see Crowdsource the Truth. Follow at JG_CSTT. But what this also did is it sort of revealed a whole. Didn't Elon Musk say originally that part of his plan of buying Twitter was to verify accounts? And I'm not saying anything bad
I'm
about
not
the way
so
that.
hang on, I'm not verified. So that's an interesting point. So I'm
Oh,
not verified, and there's also like another level that I'm not at. So I'm like at the most basic. I'm like
But
bronze.
so
I
what does the
came in at
blue
bronze.
check mean if not
The blue
verified?
check means I'm a premium member, but there's something. It gets more. I guess it gets like a fuzzy outside, or it gets a shadow or something.
No, I have
But
the
you're
same thing.
verified. But you're verified.
How do you
Did you
tell?
do the whole? Are you monetized? As soon as you're monetized, you're verified.
Yeah,
So if you're monetized, you've provided some form of
yeah,
ID
I did.
and
I had
banking
to do that.
Right.
Yeah,
So you're at a different level than I am, and I don't know how somebody else can tell that.
yeah, that's what
But
I
for
mean. I
me,
thought that's the
right.
point of
But
verifying
for
something
me,
is so
I
that
can tell.
somebody
Yeah,
knows
there's
that
stuff I
it's.
can't do. There's stuff I can't do. So
It's
for
weird what
example, I
Elon
can't
Musk
promote a
did.
post. I can't promote a post because I don't have a credit card on file with these guys, right? So I don't use that stuff for reasons that we understand. So,
I
but
did it
it's
to
an
get access to the videos and also the articles. It let me publish the Twitter coup here. This got huge attention on here compared to, the other ones I had on. Look at this, 300,000 people have read this now or looked at it at
wow,
least.
almost
Yeah,
400,000.
they know
That's
these guys
that's
are
a
scumbags.
it's a wild story. But right now, fortunately, we're still able to publish here on the platform. We're
Yeah.
still able to publish on YouTube. We also didn't really get a chance to talk about Susan passing away, and I don't want to, say anything derogatory about her while we're broadcasting now on YouTube. But
Oh,
Susan,
Susan, YouTube, Susan. Yeah, she had cancer or something. She was pretty young, right? And a
yeah, I
mother.
think 50 something. Yeah, so she passed away, and it's her sister that had been married to Sergey, right? So her sister is 23 and me, and her sister was married to Sergey Brin, and they split up because of the woman that was going to be the VP with Bobby Kennedy Jr. And then we find out Bobby Kennedy Jr. can't keep it in his pants, and that seems to
No,
run the
I don't
thing.
think that's true. That woman was just texting him to create a scandal, is what it seems like when you look at the facts.
Oh, okay. I thought he was
I don't think so. I think,
returning the text.
no, he was saying stuff like, hey, stop texting me, things like that. I'm
Oh,
pretty sure.
okay. 'Cause I was
I'm
I
pretty
was just
sure.
reading stuff recently that said he was saying stuff like I want you to have my baby and
I haven't
possess
seen
me.
that. I'm not sure. Where'd you see that? I don't think that's what was happening.
Recently. But that's not the show. That's not tonight's show. Tonight's show
Yeah,
is
I don't think that's what's happening.
we don't want to get too sidetracked. But he's in a bit of trouble with his wife, I think. She's certainly giving him the dirty, the stink eye.
No,
So,
did you see the Al Smith dinner? Trump was pretty funny, I thought. He didn't seem to think so, but
well, yeah.
RFK Jr. and Cheryl Hines were there,
Okay.
looking
Well,
happy and good.
she's gonna get half of that Kennedy money, baby. All right, let's get to the deck. Let's get to the deck, and I'll show you guys
I
a whole
don't
bunch of
think that that
interesting
was
stuff.
really
Half,
happening that way.
half the Kennedy money. Now that Ethel's gone, it's half of quite a
Did you
chunk
see
now.
that hilarious AI video of Joe Biden talking to Barack Obama at the funeral and Bill Clinton? It's so funny. I love what people are
The
doing with AI.
the real part was funny enough. I don't need to see any AI
Yeah,
video.
they're arguing.
The actual things these idiots said.
Well, that's just lip reading.
It's
They
hard to
don't know if
believe.
that's, yeah.
Oh no! I think that's what Bill Clinton was. That was
Oh,
AI.
that part was amazing, right? He's almost like, oh, I
Yeah,
could have hit that.
he's like, she used to flirt with me in the most subtle way.
He's such an idiot.
It's like, dude, this
Somebody's
is
dead
so
mother.
inappropriate
Yeah.
in front of your wife. Oh,
Such a
man,
jackass.
forget about
Bill
it.
Clinton
Yeah,
is such a jackass.
they just keep confirming it over and over again. All right, let's talk a little bit about tonight's show. What we're going to be covering tonight. We've got a lot of content. A lot of it is video content because this, again, it's evidence-based investigative journalism, right? So I'm not really interested in sharing my opinion with people. My opinion is pretty worthless as far as I'm concerned. I want to share evidence with people. My opinion, this is my opinion, right? There's thousands of you guys out there that have your own opinions. I want to show you the evidence and then have you form your opinion, right?
What
So
about
to
your
me, it's
opinion about evidence? I've a question for you, your opinion about this evidence.
What evidence? Yeah, this is interesting. So,
Isn't it?
well, something's either wrong, so they
Yeah.
either can't keep four. How many data elements are there on each one of these things? So
Not
let's
that many.
do a little Oracle exercise. All right, let's pretend that we're at Oracle. How many data elements are there on each line? So you've got victim, but everybody is a victim. So that should be the table name. The table name should be victim. Okay. So we don't, if everybody's a victim, there's
We just want to
nothing.
know characteristics of these
Right,
victims.
the table name should be victim.
Right.
Okay. So then we should have one column, which is age.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's one data element, right? The next is sex,
Or gender, is it?
gender,
They, them?
sex,
Okay.
whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah, sex, gender. Okay. And then the third
Address.
is where you're from.
Town. Yeah. City and
Now
state.
there's three data elements and there's four people
Yeah.
and you can't get that right. In an assassination attempt on a president, you can't get that right.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like somehow an error was made and this 57 was transposed to what should have been a 78. Then this would comport to Trump. But the fact that he's obviously the most important person there at the rally, maybe they're listing it in the order of severity of injury. So he's the least important victim from that criteria. But
That's
even
quite
so,
possible.
he's important enough of a figure that the data about him should be accurate. So I believe that probably is talking about Trump, but what the hell are they doing sending out? This is a public document from the police. This is their Pennsylvania State Police Public Information Release report. They can't even get this straight. That's pretty bad police work.
That's the age. And if it is the president, it's like he's obviously not 57. Nobody
Right.
looked at this. Nobody
It's terrible.
glanced at it and said,
Yeah.
50. Guys, it's not 57.
Seems off. A little
70 something. Yeah, I mean,
Right.
I know exactly, but he's 70 something.
way
It turns
off.
out he's 78 years old right now. So how do you get 57? So yeah, this is a bit of a mess, and I'm glad.
Well,
that you're
but then
doing
the
what
other
you're
thing
doing.
is,
Yeah.
we're very curious about this woman who looks like she was shot in the hand. What if the typo is that this is supposed to be an F instead of an M, and that woman is also from Palm Beach? We don't know. That's equally likely, isn't it? Something's
Let's
wrong
talk
here.
about that. Let's talk about that because you know how in each one of these investigations there's like a piece of evidence that people just kind of look at and they go, "Wow, that's pretty interesting," and then we keep going and we keep
Right.
hiking along and we keep looking for clues and we're looking for clues and we're looking for clues, and then you come back to it and you're like, that was a pretty compelling montage of many people talking about the same thing that we haven't heard a thing about since. If you go, I
Right.
responded to your tweet. If you go to the Twitter back and forth, you posted something, and I posted something where I said, I'll bet $100 it's the
Oh,
lady
yeah.
with the hand.
Right.
Let's play that montage for this audience because it's a montage and somebody put this together, and
Is it
it's
this?
just
Oh, that's us right now.
it's what
How
it
do
was
we
a
find that?
response
It's
to
so
your tweet.
difficult to find stuff
No,
on
it's
Twitter,
easy.
isn't it?
Okay, let me teach the audience how to do this. Go to the search box and you put in my handle with a little at. So at I_am
There it is.
John Cullen.
Here it is.
There you go. See how easy? I've got $100
Okay.
bucks.
So let's listen to what this says.
Let's go to the beginning and keep track of how many people are bringing this up. This is like a
Right.
big deal, guys.
Is where the stand that we were in is where the two people got shot, the man that died and the woman. So they were in the top, like maybe eighth row, and these stands weren't very tall, about 10 rows up, and we were in the third row. I was able to look up, and you could see where the shooter had shot the two people. They were laying there. We had a man dead in our bleachers and a woman injured.
The woman and the extent of her injuries, did you see where she was hit?
They say, she actually went on the golf cart right by us. Hers was more in the hand area from what we could see. Things move fast, but it didn't seem like she was shot in her body area.
I didn't hear that the first time.
Really? No, that's
She
what
went-
I'm saying. This
she
is
went by
Donna.
in the
She was
golf cart.
on the show.
She said that she went by in the golf cart. Play that back 10 seconds. Just roll back 10 seconds. She said she went by there. She went on the golf cart right by us. We've been trying to figure out who is the person we see on the board in the back of the golf cart.
Let's listen again.
They drive somebody. We've got the video clip. I've got the video clip of it. But let's listen again to what Donna says.
Did you see where she was hit?
They say, she actually went on the golf cart right by us. Hers was more in the hand area from what we could see. Things move fast, but it didn't seem like she was shot in her body area. It was in the hand or the wrist area. It seemed like that was what was being covered, at least.
Heard several gunshots. The man beside me suffered a gunshot wound to the head, was instantly killed, fell to the bottom of the bleachers. Another woman looked like she got hit in the forearm or hand.
Where was she in relation to him?
I believe she was in the bleachers, like either above me or just to the side of him. But it seemed like she was kind of at my flank, and then she flinched, and it looked like she had taken a gunshot wound to the forearm and hand.
So there was a woman that was in the bleachers. It looked to me like she had a gunshot. She had a through-and-through gunshot wound to either her forearm or her hand, and as they were taking her down out of the bleachers to take her medical assistance, it looked to me like she had actually got hit in the chest, and the round went through the chest and probably went through her hand. And I don't know, I didn't get to say anything. I told him, hey, look, I'm a doctor, I can help. We don't need it. We're taking her to the ambulance. She needs to get medevac. But I told him as they were training, I was like, I think he got, a missile injury to the chest. And they were taking her to the triage to look. And all I know is life flight came shortly thereafter, and they flew people out. I only saw one woman injured, and it looked like she had a gunshot wound to the chest, and then she had got hit in the hand, with the exit wound, it exited out the front and got her in the hand. But she was alive. It didn't look like it was a super, it didn't look like she was a critical, it looked like a critical injury. She certainly wasn't dead. So, but they were taking her out to get her to life flight.
I believe a lady who was next to me was hit. Other people were hit. This is a quote from Congressman Mike Kelly of Pennsylvania, a veteran House Republican who was at the event.
So, yeah.
And he's the chairman of the committee.
Wow. So a lot of people talking about it. That's the thing. There's a mistake there, clearly. It's either the age.
Go back 5 seconds. Because he says that's Chairman Mike Kelly said that the lady who was hit was right next to him. Just go back 10 seconds here. Just this last little bit. What did this kid say?
Critical injury. She certainly wasn't dead. So, but they were taking her out to get her to life flight.
I believe a lady who was next to me was hit. Other people were hit. This is a quote from Congressman Mike Kelly of Pennsylvania, a veteran House Republican who was at the event.
So if the chairman of the committee digging into this says there's a lady who was next to me who was hit.
Is he the chairman?
Yeah, the head of the committee is Mike Kelly from Pennsylvania. The head of the congressional committee to investigate the assassination attempt.
So that's interesting. How come he hasn't said anything about this whole
lady next to him part of the story?
What's going on?
Oh, maybe he's got pocket aces and he's just waiting for everybody. He's watching Higgins and he's watching Mark Green and he's having fun and he's just waiting and he's waiting.
Is that the way Congress usually works? That would be great if it did, but I don't think so.
I don't know. He's a U.S. Service Academy nominee. Okay, that's different. That means if you want to go to the Naval Academy, you send a letter. I don't know. You just heard what I just heard. It sounds like he was next to the lady who got injured, and somebody has figured out that needs to be kept on the down low. And all the focus is on Copenhagen and David Dutch. And this lady's story has been hushed up for a reason.
Yeah, the reason is she would prove your theory of a trajectory of people in the back row, right?
Well, not necessarily. So based on where she is located, based on where she is, here, let's go to the deck and I'll show you on the deck. I'll explain it using the deck. It's real easy. So let's go to the first slide. All right. So what we need to understand is they put the stake in the ground and said there were 8 shots by a bad guy. Okay. 8 shots were taken. So it says on top, 8 rounds fired by perp. Okay. So the narrative is there's a guy on the roof. he takes 8 shots. And we find 8 brass casings on the roof. One of those rounds we see ostensibly hit the railing, right? We see that puff of smoke on the railing, right? One of the rounds we see hits Trump. Okay, Trump gets hit in the ear. 2 rounds hit Copenhagen, and 2 rounds hit David Dutch, and 1 round hits Corey Compatore. Well, let's count those up, because the round that hits the railing can't be the same round that hits Trump. All right, so we got 1 round on the railing, 1 round on Trump. That's 2. 2 rounds on Copenhagen, 2 rounds Dutch. That's 6. 7 Compatore. And 1 round hits a Pittsburgh motorcycle cop. That's 8. 1 round hits the lady's forearm. Uh-oh. 1 round grazed Ronnie Jackson's nephew's neck.
Way too many bullets. Right?
Wait, one round hits the hydraulic reservoir. Zoom out a little bit. 1 round hits the hydraulic reservoir. Yeah. No wonder they don't want to talk about the lady or Ronnie Jackson's nephew. And the reason is on the next slide. All of the victims are along one trajectory if there's one shooter. Okay, so if there's one shooter, everybody has to be along one trajectory. And that's the one coming from the left side. All right, because that's the trajectory that hits Trump's ear. Now, the problem is the round that hits Trump's ear doesn't hit the top of the railing. It goes through the balustrades if it's fired from the rooftop.
What's a balustrade?
The vertical things that hold up a railing, those are called balustrades. Mm-hmm. So each one of those vertical things, right, those are called balustrades. And the lucky guy has his hand between the 5th and the 6th balustrade. And you'll see that a little bit later. But the notion here is everybody, here, let's go to the next slide. Go to the next one. You'll see another version of this. All right, so those are the counter snipers, but this is the southern roof guys. And these are the counter snipers that end up taking the shot. So these
guys are U.S. Secret Service, but the Hercules team, are they also Secret Service, or where are they from?
Yes, all 4 in these black rooftop setups are all Secret Service.
But are they all out of the Pittsburgh field office, or some are D.C., some are Pittsburgh? We don't know.
Yeah. I remember reading or hearing a story that they weren't allowed to go anywhere if it was more than a 5-hour drive or something like that. Like it had to be less than a certain number of hours driving from D.C. because they didn't want to fly these guys around. But net, we've got 2 different teams. These are the pretty boys that get all the press. And we're going to, so for example, is it okay to debunk ABC News with their own stories? Like, are we allowed to do that on YouTube? Or, all right, so I sent you a video in the video folder of ABC News telling you that these guys took the shot. But we have the testimony from the guy on the right saying, no, we didn't take the shot. It's the other guys that took the shot. But ABC News puts the story out with all the gravitas and all the, the emotions, and it's like, but it's wrong. So let's listen to how ABC News publishes disinformation. This is absolutely wrong, according to the testimony.
Trained to do. But this was the first time in history, according to a former senior agent, that a Secret Service sniper killed a would-be assassin. But clearly a shot too late. In the moments leading up to the deadly shooting, you can see those 2 counter snipers scanning for threats in their positions on the rooftop behind former President Trump. Their high-powered rifles appear to be pointed in the direction of the gunman's position on an adjacent building overlooking the rally. Within seconds, chaos. He's got a gun! He's on the roof! He's got a gun!
Stand here. He's on top of the roof. Don't go over there.
The sniper appears momentarily startled by the gunfire, his face leaving the scope, but then quickly recovering and taking out the would-be assassin.
There's no room for error, so...
Aren't we going to get in trouble for playing ABC News video here on...
Well, that's why I asked you. But we're debunking it because the testimony says that's not what happened.
Ah.
So they have now testified. And we're going to look at the written testimony.
When did this video come out?
It's ABC News, after the event and before the testimony.
15th, it looks like it says.
So 2 days after the event, they're telling you these guys took the shot. But they testified that they did not take the shot. And ABC News doesn't retract the story. So this is what we're going to be talking about, the Hercules Paradox. The paradox here is we've only got 8 shots. We've already accounted for Corey Compatore. David Dutch gets hit twice. Copenhagen gets hit twice. The president gets hit once. The hydraulics get hit. The railing gets hit. And we haven't gotten to Ronnie Jackson's nephew, the police officer, the lady. We haven't gotten to that yet. And we're already at 8 shots.
So a lot of bullets.
So which shots were at these guys? The first shot? We're going to watch the first shot. And we're going to say, well, wait a second. Was the first shot at President Trump and clipped his ear? Or was the first shot at these guys?
Now, John, we're out of time here, though. We're going to have to do this on the sponsor-exclusive segment. People are going to be able to join us there on subscribestar.com/IamJohnCullen, patreon.com/IamJohnCullen, odyssey.com/@crowdsourcethetruth, crowdsourcethetruth.substack.com, and subscribestar.com and patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. Don't forget to follow John on X if you aren't already, and huge thank you to that X user who now has allowed us to live stream the show on John's X account. Thanks to everybody, 541 people who are watching us there on X. We'll see everybody in less than 5 minutes. Stay with us.